Have you ever been alone in the woods and felt like you weren't really alone? Some legends aren't just stories, and tonight, I'm going to tell you about one you'll never forget. If you hear a whisper, don't answer. The fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows on the surrounding trees. I pulled my jacket tighter around me, listening to the quiet rustle of leaves in the night breeze. It had been years since I started camping alone, but tonight felt different. The weight of an unseen presence pressed against my chest, and though I was alone in this clearing, I couldn't shake the feeling that something watched from the darkness. I have never been the superstitious type, nor one to scare easily. The wilderness has always been a place of solace for me, a retreat from the chaotic hum of civilization. But this story, the one I am about to tell, has lingered in my bones like a cold, unshakable chill. It is not a tale I tell lightly, for I fear that speaking of it gives it power. It began on the third night of my trip, deep in the northern forest where the trees stood ancient and the trails were scarce. The first few nights had been uneventful, filled with the usual sounds of nocturnal life, distant hoots of owls, the occasional rustling of small creatures in the underbrush. But that third night, something changed. As I sat by my fire, spooning the last bites of my dinner into my mouth, I heard it, a whispering. At first, I dismissed it as the wind through the trees. But the more I listened, the more it seemed to form something distinct. It was melodic, almost like a woman humming a lullaby just beyond the tree line. I stood, flashlight in hand, and scanned the perimeter of my camp. Nothing. The sound ceased the moment I moved, leaving only the crackling of the fire and my own steady breathing. Shaking off the unease, I crawled into my tent, convincing myself it was just my imagination. Sleep did not come easily. My dreams were vivid, filled with fleeting images of a pale woman standing between the trees, her hollow eyes fixed on me. I woke drenched in sweat, the whispering still faintly echoing in my ears. The following morning, I found something odd near my tent. Small stacks of stones, carefully arranged in patterns I did not recognize. I had not placed them there, and as far as I knew, no one else was in these woods. A chill ran down my spine, but I told myself it must have been a natural occurrence. Perhaps animals had disturbed the rocks overnight. That evening, the whispering returned, only this time, it did not stop when I moved. It grew louder, more urgent, as if calling me deeper into the woods. My pulse quickened as I gripped my knife, scanning the darkness beyond my firelight. Again, nothing. By the fifth night, I decided it was time to leave. Yet, no matter how far I hiked, I found myself back at the same clearing. The compass I always relied on spun erratically, refusing to guide me in any clear direction. The whispering was no longer just a sound, it was inside my head, wrapping around my thoughts like tendrils of mist. Then I saw her. A figure, taller than any human, standing motionless at the edge of the clearing. Her form was shadowed, her face obscured, but I could feel her gaze pierce through me. My body froze, an overwhelming sensation of dread anchoring me in place. The last thing I remember before losing consciousness was the sound of my name, whispered in a voice that was not my own. I woke miles away, sprawled on the forest floor. My belongings were untouched, but my body ached as if I had been dragged. I never found that campsite again, no matter how hard I searched. But the whispering, it has never left me. Even now, as I sit by this fire, I hear it, a faint echo in the wind, calling my name, waiting for me to return. What do you think really happened? Was it just paranoia, or something truly supernatural? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy horror stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because the next story might be even darker.